Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Monday, November 13th, 2023. Lance Brock here on this Monday morning. It is time for Good Morning Wrestling fans. Hope everyone is having a really good Monday morning so far. Hope everyone had a great weekend. And on this Monday morning episode, I want to talk real quick about a couple shows I was able to check out yesterday that took place over the weekend from New Japan Pro Wrestling and DDT Pro Wrestling. I guess you could say that it's a Japanese Perez episode of Good Morning Wrestling fans today. So without any further ado, let's talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling's Lone Star Shootout, which took place last Friday night, I believe, at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas, which will also be the site of Ring of Honor's Final Battle pay-per-view next month. And I know I said New Japan Pro Wrestling, which it is really, but this is more of an NJPW Strong promoted show, but I guess you could still call it New Japan anyway. Just real quick, just going over some of the main highlights here. And Fred Rosser defeated Filthy Tom Lawler at 13 minutes. And main reason I talked about that match is because I am a big fan of both those guys. Fred Rosser, I thought, since his days as Darren Young in WWE, the work he's been doing in New Japan has been very well. I feel like he has improved quite a bit in his career since he was in WWE as a part of the Primetime Players with Titus O'Neil. And another match I wanted to go over real quick was Eddie Kingston defeating Satoshi Kojima to retain the NJPW Strong Open Weight Championship at 10 minutes 40 seconds. And also in tag team action, we have the Blackpool Combat Club team of John Moxley and Willard Yuta defeating the Bullet Club team of Kenta and David Finlay at 12 minutes 50 seconds. Zack Sabre Jr. and Speedball Mike Bailey in a match for the NJPW World Television Championship. And if you've been listening to the podcast lately, you have heard me talk about these two guys and how great they are. Zack Sabre Jr. and Speedball Mike Bailey. And I always say the same thing when it comes to matches of these two wrestlers right here. This is one you definitely have to check out in case you missed it. It was great. I'm sorry about the leaves that are on the ground at this house right now. But yes, Zack Sabre Jr. and Speedball Mike Bailey. Going into that one, you hear those two wrestlers are having a match against each other. You would automatically think, oh, that's going to be a great match. And you would be right. Definitely check that one out if you can. Zack Sabre Jr. retaining, getting the win at 14 minutes, 55 seconds. And we have Mayu Atwani defeating Stephanie Baker for the IWGP Women's Championship. And in the main event, Shingo Takagi defeated Trent Beretta to retain, or for the NJPW Strong Never Openweight Championship, 25 minutes, 45 seconds. In a match, this one was surprisingly a lot better than I expected it to be. Really good one there. And the next match, or the next show, I'm going to talk about real quick on this episode. I'm not sure if anybody cares or not, but as another streaming update real quick, I have decided to give Wrestle Universe a try, at least for 1 month. Anyway, let's see how it is at first, and then I'll see if I will continue it or not. I wanted to check out the Ultimate Party Show from DDT Pro Wrestling this weekend. Of course, Chris Jericho was a part of it in the main event, taking on another fellow AEW star, Konosuke Takeshita. And this match took place in Tokyo at the Rokyo Koken. Hopefully I'm saying that right and not messing it up too badly. But I will just go over a few matches here. We have Mayo defeating Matt Cardona, along with Steph DeLander in his corner, for the DDT Universal Championship, 16 minutes, 50 seconds. This one was wild. It was crazy. It was silly, but I enjoyed it. Matt Cardona had Steph DeLander once again in his corner, doing the whole Deathmatch King thing. He was really working heel in this match. And Steph DeLander getting involved, of course. And the original referee getting knocked down, taken out of the match. And then we get a blow-up doll as a substitute referee. And that's where the silly part comes in, because Cardona and Mayo, they go for pin attempts, and they grab the doll and they count the pins themselves. Well, the dolls kept making the counts, and then Steph DeLander gets involved again. She places Cardona over him. She makes the blow-up doll referee count, and it's only a 2, so she gets upset and tosses the blow-up doll referee into the crowd. And then the original referee ends up coming back and getting into the match. So Mayo defeats Matt Cardona for the DDT Universal Championship. And Matt Cardona very upset after this match. When he's going to the back, he's yelling, "This is worse than when Bret Hart got screwed by Vince McMahon." Very good by Matt Cardona. If you haven't checked out any of his indie stuff lately, I definitely recommend checking it out. GCW, DDT, and other indies. And the Ocho, Chris Jericho, defeated Konosuke Takeshita, which this was a very good match. Don Callis was not in the corner of Takeshita for this match, though, and they had a really good match, and Jericho gets the win, defeating Konosuke Takeshita. Jericho, no surprise at being in Japan, worked heel in this one, and he defeats Takeshita, and then after he shows him respect, shakes his hand, and then he leaves. And then after the match, Takeshita gets on the mic and says in Japanese that this isn't over. So I thought that was pretty good that they didn't make them start getting along all of a sudden there and becoming friends or anything. They showed some respect, yes, but like I said, Takeshita got on the mic and said this isn't over. So the feud can still keep going in AEW. And in the main event, Yuki Ueno defeated Chris Brooks for the KOD Openweight Championship at 29 minutes 39 seconds. Like I said, I am just now trying out Wrestle Universe, which that was the first show I watched on it. DDT Pro Wrestling. There's also other promotions as well, Tokyo Joshi Pro and others. I'll definitely check out those promotions this month while I have it. Will I keep the service? I'm not sure yet. I have to see how it is. But this show I definitely recommend. And maybe you could try out for 1 month Wrestle Universe, just see how it is, like I'm doing, see if you like it. Just one kind of minor complaint I have about is that AEW and Dynamite, they just barely mentioned that match. Jericho and Takeshita for DDT. They barely got any mention at Dynamite or Rampage and I thought they could have promoted that more. I know mostly they do work with New Japan more, but I think they should have gave this one a little more promotion on the TV, especially since it's not one of their stars. Good just going to face one of Japan's stars. He's actually facing a star that's a regular in AEW. And I'm here at work now. So as Tony Schiavone would say, we are desperately out of time. And I better wrap up real quick. I hope to be back tonight with a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, talking all about tonight's episode of WWE Monday Night Raw. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with the Tuesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans as I rush and try to do my best impression of Excalibur, doing a rundown. And that's all for today's episode. I hope so far everybody has a great Monday morning and have a great pro wrestling day.